we're here for Race 4. We've had to split this into a second part of the episode as, well, I've had to do a lot of talking in this episode. A lot of new things to introduce and things to the show. Each explanation has taken several minutes apiece. This would have no doubt fit into one part if I didn't have to go over a bunch of other stuff that changed or was added in between segments. But I do, so it can't. Not the least of which being the car we're following right now. Through probably no shortage of miracles and some technological know-how from some of the other contestants here in the challenge series, Barbara has managed to get her C7 Corvette that got absolutely manhandled at that high-speed ring crash back in episode 22, I think it was. Took almost the whole off-season apparently for her and a couple of other characters to help her get this thing ready in time, or get it ready at all. But they managed to fix the car. And as a result, the repairs have also come with a redesign where the color palette has been swapped around. Originally it was white and gold with a blue accent. Now it is blue and gold with a white accent. And I believe a couple of new sponsors are on the car as well. As before that crash, Barbara was having moderate success. I don't have the race info on the screen. But, that is one of many things here. As a matter of fact, pretty much this entire race is completely new. Not all of it. And we're gonna go, like, reverse order here. The first one. Riley Blanchard, Thomas O'Reilly, and, well, we see Thrasher has a new vehicle. It is a Mach 40, a custom-built 69 Mustang with a lot of horsepower and probably a lot of oversteer. Moving sideways here, we have Thomas O'Reilly and Riley Blanchard getting matching redesigns to their cars. And this is because they are among the group of drivers that Thrasher has also signed to join him on Black Stallion Motorsports. There it is. So, from what I understand, Thrasher went to sign Thomas to his team, as he does drive Ford-based models, which is primarily what Black Stallion Motorsports deals in, because his reflections, you know, Thrasher drives Mustangs, Axel Valentine drives Mustangs. As I was saying, second interruption in an hour, because my mom is constantly consuming various drinking products, mostly Sunny D, but the occasional soda can. Anyway, not relevant. Thrasher went to sign Thomas to Black Stallion Motorsports because Thomas, Axel Valentine, they all deal in Ford vehicles. Thomas kind of the one running sort of the more the more unusual Fords, the custom-built 51 Coupe and a Cobra under Thomas O'Reilly's belt. Thrasher and Valentine dealing with the more conventional Mustang models, but Thomas O'Reilly filling the gap with some of the more unique Fords. And Thomas agreed to join the team under a singular condition. His protege Riley Blanchard also can enter the team. Thrasher, wanting Thomas to be on the team, and certainly not about to complain about having more drivers on his team, agreed to these terms. And so now two more drivers were then added to the team stable. Obviously, not unlike John Garrison, their vehicles got redesigns, sort of you know, mesh in with the Black Stallion branding. I'm taking my time now because I'm splitting this into a second part, so no rush anymore. And I have to say, I think, well, Thomas's car didn't look too bad before. I think I kind of like that more than this. This is by no means bad looking, but I just think the original suited him better. But Riley, as much as I understand that it was supposed to look like the Corvette Grand Sport, she needed this redesign. Her car was so bland looking. She had two sponsors, Chevrolet and Bilstein. Now she's got like 8. Seriously, this thing is like stacked. Not even Thomas has that many. He's got like 4. He's got Shelby Co., Mobile 1, American Racing, Bridgestone. Riley has Goodyear, Ina, something, Coffee, Corvette, Concordia, Bilstein, NK, Boardman, Goodyear. I don't even think Thrasher's got that many. I don't really know where Riley pulled all of these from. Let's look at Thrasher's car. That's not a company, that's a meme, I believe. Brembo, GT Planet, Goodyear, Advan. Okay, never mind. NGK, Mobile 1, HKS, and Donut Media. So they're tied, and then Thomas is just like, well, okay. The 720 category here, pretty much business as usual. But then we have the 760 category, where there's a battle for the lead. Hang on, we're gonna let this play out before we continue. I just got absolutely bodied by Riese. She takes the lead. DePrisco wants to follow through, can't. And yeah, literally, this is the only thing here that's nothing new. Eric's F12 Berlinetta remains the same. Barbara's car is redesigned. Ellie has obtained a 991 Porsche GT3 RS to run in the 760 category. We have a new top division here for the road cars of the Challenge Series. Did you forget to put Mercury Racing on this car? Yeah, she did. Oops. I'll have to tell her that next time we run into her. She did not put Mercury Racing anywhere on this car. This is definitely Ellie. This is her car. It's supposed to be there. Actually, I think I can kind of see where it was meant to be on the hood here beneath the Porsche logo. If I had to guess where it's supposed to be on the side of the car, probably right above that P0 logo. If not there, then maybe running along the roof line or something. I don't know. We go... I don't think the camera will go that far. Go further down the order, or up the order, I should say. Come across Jake Scarborough and his 760 class competitor, an AMG Black Series, with BWT branding, not much unlike Lynette Mulsanne's car. This is apparently based off of a real car that runs in GT Open or something, and so it's just a replica of that with a new number on it. Brian Ice has well, on top of the Pacific Spirit there, he's also got a redesigned Diablo SV, which is actually just a Diablo GT, but that's beside the point. I like this sponsor. And Pacific Spirit Racing, as if you saw the clip show hosted by Veronica in the off-season about a week or two ago from now, or a week or two ago, not from, a week or two ago, Dom DePrisco and Brian Ice both kind of teased at a team, and that team is Pacific Spirit Racing. So, yeah, they have a 2-car outfit going there. A debuting driver here in the form of Darika Zoya, a Hungarian driver who's actually of Indian descent, who moved to Hungary to I believe, study medicine, I believe. Yes. Study medicine. They studied in Tokyo for a couple of years, and they got into street racing there. They have an SLS AMG running here in 760. Further down the track, I really should have done this earlier in the race. Taylor Lynn, a very huge departure from the standard fare 500 Fiats. I mean, we had the G70 Genesis. Now they drive an Aventador. What is this? Aventador Superleggera? Super something. Yeah, Aventador SV. As you can see, 760 is a lot of top-of-the-line supercars, but not quite hypercars for the most part. A more subtle rainbow theme, literally sponsored by Rainbow Audio headphones. How appropriate. But not quite as overbearing as some of their other cars. I didn't notice this before. I believe that's the non-binary flag, if I'm correct. I know that's some flag. I kind of feel like an idiot for not knowing, but I'm not too familiar with the other flags out there. I just know Pride, and I know, like, you know, country and state flags. I've really dedicated myself to looking them up or researching which ones they are. As you can see, here is Dom DePrisco's brand new Lamborghini Huracan, mostly paid for by Brian Ice. Part of the agreement was that Brian Ice would do more than just pay off Dom's old Diablo. Basically give him a Diablo 2.0 in the form of this new Huracan. Probably one of the better looking cars, too. And the gold somewhat matches the gold SV logo on Ice's car. And you see the Pacific Spirit Racing there. I'm trying to remember, I do not think he picked up a Monolithic Studio sponsorship. I think that was in the works, it just never got finalized for the race dates. Still no shortage. Duke Sound System, Toyo Tires, Rays, EA, 246 Press, GoPro, GT Auto, Trust. He's got plenty of sponsorship coming through with this car. So he's fine. And then there's me. My car is unchanged. And finally we have Copperhead, as she's sometimes referred to because of her hair. Rise Kujikawa. Very stark contrast. She has managed to go from Peugeot 308 to a Veyron as her 760 car. Quite a difference. This car looks like a Duracell battery, and you can't change my mind, but I still like it. By no means my favorite in this race, because there's a lot of competition for that. There's a lot of nice looking cars in this class. Obviously, these are top of the line cars, so they gotta look the part. They gotta look like real race cars, as real of a race car as you can get without being, say, a GT3. You know, there's a certain amount of style and flair that just comes by default by being such a high-end supercar like a Veyron, or an Aventador, or a Huracan. Not actually as many sponsors here. I believe this is only 6 sponsors on this car. Yeah? Yeah, okay. Didn't know we would do that. You have Pirelli, so 7. Pirelli, Atlas, Ray-Ban, Gran Turismo, Redline Oil, Penrose Tackle, and Zero Sporting Goods. As we get back to the race, Barbara seems to be a bit of a late bloomer. She's probably trying to shake the rust off. She hasn't actually been able to drive a car in, well, a month or so. From what I understand, this car was fixed very late into the off-season. Possibly as early as just over a week ago, if I'm not mistaken. So she didn't really get a whole lot of track time with it, and now she's having to run an upgraded form of it as it's now in 760 rather than 720. So it's also upgraded to run the higher class while it was being rebuilt, and it's also being redesigned. This Corvette has basically just been everything. It's been revived. It's been reincarnated, so far as I'm concerned. She will send it on Scarborough. Bit of understeer from the Corvette means that she's kind of pushed Jake aside, but not really contact, I don't think, so... I don't know what she was doing there. She's trying to sneak to the right of Zoya and just found a wall, I think. I'm sure Barbara remembers the last time she broke for that hairpin. She probably doesn't want to think on it all too much. The clip of $4 million brake failure. I just hit the wall there. Rise is pulling ahead by some margin. Barbara will sneak ahead of the Huracan, and then she'll get to my outside on the long left, contest the brakes into the... This is not quite a hairpin, it's just short of one. Barbara, I think, give it loose on exit, but she is into second, and now she must work on that, is that about a 4-second gap to Rise in the lead, 4.5? She's obviously not used to the amount of power that this vehicle is capable of outputting. Getting some small tank slappers out of a lot of these corners. I definitely just kind of forgot that there's a cinematic camera. Or trackside, not cinematic. I am surrounded by Lamborghinis! You know, Barbara is there. She's filling Rise's mirrors now. Because we're gonna have an idol versus idol battle, but not the kind that we're used to seeing here in the Challenger Series. Rise versus Barbara. Rise defends into the final hairpin, and Barbara overcooks it. Manages to at least stay off the wall this time. Four-wheel drive corner exit meets 1,100 horsepower. And Rise might have just defended the finish, defended the win there. As, oh my word, maybe not. What was that? Look, staring defeat in the face, Barbara found all of the grip she probably didn't even know she had in this thing. I guess that's what happens when you basically rebuild this Corvette from scratch. You get to take corners like that, and just absolutely rob Brise blind. DePrisco debuts for Pacific Spirit in 3rd, Ice in 6th. Mercury, well, our singular car in the 760 for me with 4th. And I guess Ellie would be, she ends up last. Black Stallion held a vice grip over 720, locking out the podium down there. So that's going to be a force. Nico tried her darndest, finished 4th, but could not stand up to Black Stallion. Not yet. Probably underestimated them. I mean, we can't. We're no 2000s Ferrari. You know, we can't dominate forever. We are not Michael Schumacher. So, that said, on to the final round of the episode, the Roulette Race. We are green here in the Roulette round. We are coming to you from Watkins Glen for our first potluck race of the second half. The focus driver is Violetta Vegas, who technically debuted in the latter part of the first half, but really just kind of didn't make a whole lot of waves. She joined alongside her boyfriend Tony Lombardi, who I believe is further ahead on the grid. Yeah. Okay. As we can see, Thomas O'Reilly has a slight redesign on his 51 GT. The color is now more of a matte black than a dark gray, and there are the new logos and sponsors on the car. I don't know what the hell this was, but it resulted in Thomas just having a lapse in judgment. Does well to keep that from being a disaster, but also heavily blocks traffic. Vegas is able to take full advantage though, and she puts herself into P7 already, up 13 places, and we're not even through the first lap. Ellie goes pretty aggressive, or attempts to go pretty aggressive into the toe. Superior exit, obviously being 2 categories ahead of Vegas in her Gran Turismo, or her Maserati. Maybe that's not too surprising. The other new car here, currently being squeezed off circuit by Lombardi. Riley Blanchard does in fact have a 760 car, and it is this C7ZR1 with a livery that I kind of like. It is actually an homage to the Assetto Corsa car, her car from the original Challenge series back on Assetto Corsa, where she ran and won multiple GT3 races in Tier E. This car is not an exact replica, but it's very heavily inspired by it, and that's hardly subtle. Currently being obstructed by her teammate and mentor, Thomas, and gets clear, well, the kind of ease that she should be able to clear him with in a vehicle that's running 3 categories higher. Nico currently leading, but Jake Scarborough is here with the 760 car, so I imagine that this will be a pass for the lead right here. Sneaks his way by in the bus stop, and new leader, 35. Vegas takes the 680 class lead from Kira Kishibe. And now everything ahead of her is technically a category or two above. And there are more cars a category or two above behind her, in the form of Blanchard and Thrasher and Taylor, and that's it. Emmy, you're in a car that's a category above these two. Why are you not ahead of them yet? Doesn't much surprise me that Jake has the whole shot here, considering, well, with how much racing he's done in NASCAR games. He's basically made a tertiary home out of the Watkins Glen circuit, all the time he spent in NASCAR leagues. Zoya outdrags Kaiser into turn 1. At some point, Vegas got ahead of Ellie. Violetta passed a car that's 2 categories above her. She also seems to be catching Stephanie, who's in a car that's 1 category above. Oh my god, that's a lot of momentum. That was painfully easy. Nico's 720, Jake and Zoya both 760, and then we just have the 680 car running 4th because why not? Zoya had a really awkward carousel there. Vegas is in with a chance for 3rd. Sneaks on the outside of the SLS. That was smooth as butter right there. Zoya still has alongside superior horsepower, but inside lane for the Maserati. That move sticks. Zoya sliding everywhere, trying to stick with her and not be utterly embarrassed, to be honest. Now she is targeting Yazawa and the Viper ahead. I mean, she's already passed 2 cars 2 categories above her, so what's a 720 car to this Maserati driver at this point? Nico defends into the second to last turn. Violetta does not care, swoops around the outside, and is now in P2. And now she sets her sights on Jake Scarborough, one of the many Watkins Glen ringers. Well, at least I imagine there's many of them. He's probably one of the bigger ones at the moment. I like this track, but I'm not really great at it. I'm sure Tyler would usually, but he's also probably pretty good at it too, as is my dad. He's a road course fan when it comes to NASCAR. So he is ahead of the other 600 cars, so he is doing his job. He's also keeping Gina at bay, who's a category above. Emmy's still running last in the 640 class. And also one thing to note, as Vegas has now caught Scarborough, so we're going to have a battle for the lead between 2 cars in 2 categories apart. Oh good lord, curb moment. The 500 class cars, like Miss Zoya overtaking Yazawa and Ellie overtaking Stephanie. So all the categorical stuff is fizzling itself out. Riley passed Thrasher. Now pretty much in an orderly fashion. We got the 760s. Nico's still ahead of Ellie, but I don't know how much longer that may remain or not. Nico's got more power than that Porsche. She may be able to stay ahead for a while if she continues to force the issue against her teammate, which I don't really know if she will or not. That is one of the things that Mercury, while we are supposed to help each other, we aren't just gonna... We don't expect each other just to get out of the way. We are ultimately here to race. I'm sure if Nico were running like her Yaris right now, she would get out of the way, but she's in with a chance to defend 4th here. She has a legitimate chance to do so, as I do believe this Viper still has the horsepower advantage over this GT3 RS. Violetta's still sticking with Jake. She takes the S's nearly flat. Big run on the AMG as we head towards the bus stop chicane. As we're gonna have, I think, like a lap and a half to go here. Vegas swoops once again on the outside. A third overtake in this race from the outside of a corner. This is a masterclass in overtaking from this Maserati driver. And personally hitting these overtakes on drivers in one or more categories above her car. It wouldn't be the first roulette upset. We had, I don't remember who it was. I want to say it was Maki who won yes, it was Maki who won a high-speed ring roulette race as Jake gets back to the lead through the toe on Vegas. Zoya has now caught up to this battling pair. Ayase, who has overtaken Nico in fact. I cannot confirm or deny, I have no idea if Nico let her by or if Ellie just got it done normally. As we head onto the front straight, it's time for the final lap of the race, final lap of the episode. Ellie just lit the track record up right there of 50.8. Excuse me. But she's currently going to have a bit of her own, a bit of a battle of her own against Zoya, while Vegas will attempt to contend with Scarborough for the win. She does not have as much of a run as she did on the previous lap against the AMG. But Jake defends and brakes really early, giving Vegas the perfect opportunity to do the exact same thing that she did on the last lap. You'd think Jake would have prepared for that and prevented that instead of basically letting it happen. But he didn't, so here we are. Vegas in the 680 class car, once again the leader over 3 760 class vehicles. The tail of a Mercedes and 2 Porsches behind her. Jake with some huge oversteer out of that toe. If he hadn't gotten that, he might have had the lead. Vegas makes a block. Zoya down the inside. She wanted it all, but she didn't get it. Vegas keeps the door closed. She almost had a chance at least second, but failed to capitalize entirely. She wants the outside of Scarborough. Now Jake has to make the important decision. Does he try for the lead or defend second? He tries for the lead while also defending second. Alright. I mean, I guess if you're on the inside, you don't really have to think one way or the other. It's going to be a train coming out of the last corner. A crucial momentum out of the last turn. Violetta Vegas is going to clutch the victory over 760 class cars. Here, Watkins Glen. Oh my god. I'm a bit out of breath from that. Nico grabs 5th, technically wins the 720 category over Stephanie. Blanchard was bogged down in traffic, could not contend with the other 760 class vehicles in the event. So yeah, Vegas managed to pull a win out of her hat over cars 2 categories above her, and the game is failing to unload the race. Luckily, that doesn't matter. So, as we stare into the black abyss of the Gran Turismo 7 loading screen, that will do it for this episode. The return of the Challenge series is upon us, and we're basically only just getting started here in the second half of Season 1.